Correct me if I'm wrong.
I really don't know. For me, when you say, oh, you take that with a grain of salt, okay. So, that's the end of it. It finished.
Mm-hmm.
It finished him.
Mm-hmm.
Better not hold it with your hand because it's a long story and you're going to get tired. You want to really record it?
Yeah. Prop it up on this. See if I can. There you go.
Boarding school, Vancouver, possibly 1958, 1959. It was the Easter holiday, and one of my good friends, there were three of us, one of the good friends, his name was Frank Taylor. He was from the Yukon Territory. He gets the idea that we should get on the bus and go to a town north of Vancouver and earn some money picking potatoes. So we had to tell the school that we were going to his family's house in Seattle, which is
The opposite direction.
he always went there, yeah, of course. And we surreptitiously bought backpacks and all the stuff necessary for being out in the cold. Okay.
Thank God.
The name of this town is Pemberton, and Pemberton is in British Columbia, up north, British Columbia, about 180 miles north of Vancouver maybe. So we get to Pemberton, only to discover that they don't pick potatoes when there's 2 or 3 feet of snow on the ground. 0 points for research. So we say, well, the hell, what are we gonna do? Well, we really didn't bring enough money to go back to Vancouver, but we got to go earn some money somehow or the other one. But we decided it wasn't going to be in Pemberton. So we started hitchhiking, and it was a hell of a bad storm, and there were 2 roads to go from Pemberton to where we wanted to go. One, the traditional high road, and the low road. So we're there deciding what to do, and these guys come along and say, where you kids going? We're going to so-and-so. Do you want to ride? So sure. I mean, there was just 2 guys with a big American car, and they had room for us. So we get in the car, and the guys go up, and the weather's getting worse, and they get a flat tire.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so this is a flat tire incident here. Okay. So the driver obviously asked his friend, would you mind, you gotta get out and take the damn tire off. We gotta change the tire. So the guy opened the door. Oh, shoot. He says, you better roll a few more yards in the flat tire because there's a cliff down here going straight down. So they pull over, and that's when we kind of discovered that they were both drunk. We didn't know much about drunk because we had no experience with drunken people. We were schoolboys. But anyhow, they pull over. So we decided we'd get out and help too, because naturally, I didn't want to be in a car. I was about to flip over into the side of the ravine there if I could pretend that I was helping change the tire. So the guy, very cleverly, starts changing the tires. You know, takes out the nuts, takes off all the nuts, 5, 6 nuts, whatever it was, with a proper tool, puts all the nuts down here, gets the tire out, gets out of the trunk, the spare tire in good condition, puts it on, snaps it, whatever, and wind blowing like hell and horrible. And then he says, oh, sugar daddy, where are the nuts?
Because we were talking about last night.
It was hot, and the nuts just sort of
Melted the snow.
melted in the snow, and digging snow. With that, he gets so angry, and since the guy had already pulled up a few yards ahead of him, so he could get out, he decides he's going to go back on the front seat and sit down, but then he may change his mind and get on the back seat and he slams the door so hard that he broke our mutual fishing rod that we had bought with Frank Taylor. Ah! We said, oh shit. We better get out of here, Frank. And Frank says, yeah, we better just. Okay, we're almost at the top of the high road, so the worst thing we can do is not walk down.
And what time of day is it?
Well, this is about 7 o'clock at night.
Oh my gosh.
So he says, well, we better start going down. And we walk, we better walk down, because with these guys, it's sure that the other way, we had enough warm clothes. I mean, the clothes that we had were warm, because Frank was out. I mean, Yukon territories, he knew everything we needed to have. So we're getting out there. And then I had the opportunity to watch, and so did Frank, probably he'd seen it many times, the most spectacular aurora borealis. I will never forget that aurora borealis. And I have always, Tchaikovsky's first piano concerto always brings back the, in the certain of the flows that goes and whatever, the riffles and ruffles and whatever, always remind me of the aurora borealis. So there we are. Anyhow.
Oh, beautiful. I didn't know you'd gotten to see the Aurora Borealis. What a
Yeah, that was
stroke of luck.
I didn't.
How many tourists try and go and see the Aurora Borealis, and sometimes they're lucky and sometimes they're not.
Or not. But this particular time, we just happen to be there, the right guys at the right time. So we get down, and we eventually get down, and we go on a plane thing there. And Frank says, well, look, we got to make a shelter out of these trees here. One thing that we did have was an axe. So we hacked and we made a shelter, and we decided to huddle that on the slope. The storm goes by, time is quiet, and so
And you guys are on the side of the road and you can't see civilization anywhere.
no, we can't see civilization anywhere. Not only that, we're on an Indian reservation. So we heard early in the morning noise. And so we kind of said, hey, who goes there? So there were these two Indian teenage guys, Redskin Indians, of course, Canadian Redskin Indians, First Natives or something like they used to call it. First Nation. And they wanted to chat with us because they said, we heard you guys talking in the night because we were here near here, and we heard you talking in the night, and we wanted to find out what do, where, and basically their curiosity was, what do teenagers do in Vancouver? I mean, it was an amazing, well, we're boarding school kids. We don't know what the hell teenagers do. When you get up in the morning, you go to classes. You go to your playroom, you bust your ass. So we don't know about dancing at parties or anything like that. So which way do we go to? We want to get back to be able to get back to Vancouver. So that if you go that way and you follow the railroad track, you will eventually get to Vancouver. To the railroad track, and you follow the railroads, and then you'll get to a town called Darcy. Was the next town, and then from there you can go to Vancouver. So they said goodbye, and we parted good friends. The part that they didn't tell us was that between where we were and the railroad tracks was a creek, and the creek was, as wide as that, and flowing.
The river as wide as the grass.
As wide as the grass, from here to there, and flowing. And we had to
it's
cross it. Now,
0 degrees Celsius.
yeah. So,
Below zero.
whatever. We didn't have a thermometer. We had a compass, I think. But we didn't use it very well. So anyhow, Frank says to me, okay, we go back and we have to get a couple of walking sticks. So he machetes with the shower, with the axe, he cuts down a couple of nice walking sticks. And then he says to me, now we take our clothes off and we pack them in the backpack. We're going to pack them in the backpack. I said, what the hell is that for? We're going to cross it naked? He says, yes. Because if we fall in the water with our clothes on, we for sure die of, what do you die of when you freeze? You freeze to death.
Hypothermia.
Yeah, we didn't know those words, so he probably did, but we freeze to death. He said, on the other hand, if we fall into the water, we'll just our naked clothes on. I mean, we're naked, we get out, we get into the river, then we quickly take out clothes, we dry ourselves, and we don't drive. So, does it sound like a winner? Everything goes into the backpack, so we barefoot, we're going to the rivers, yay high. I mean, it's not a huge stream, but it was
Yeah.
freezing, don't know what, but this time it was daylight, so we made it, and we made it across. So, okay, great. Well, that was all we got. And we were down to, I think, 4 bars of chocolate and 2 apples or something like that. That was the ration. Okay. Well, we were sturdy. The one thing is we were very, very fit because we were both rugby players. I mean,
we were in physical condition to aguantar something like that.
for all of that, because not only we were rugby players, we were both in our teams, which
Yeah.
means that we played rugby every day, not like the guys who were cannon fodder who played against us in the school teams who were not playing every day. So we make it, and anyhow, so we're going and going and going, and then, oh boy, the railroad track. Oh, thank God. The railroad track. I guess I'm not going to lie to you and tell you we sat down and prayed and say thank you, Lord, because we weren't into that. But we were very happy that the railroad track was there. So we sat there for a while, and it was okay. Which way are we going to go? So Frank uses his wilderness orientation to figure, well, that's north because of the,
Where the sun sets.
where the sun sets. No, the sun sets in the west.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But you can see where the north is by where the sun sets.
Right. Okay. Anyhow, he says this is the way we want to go on the railroad track because you had north or south, whichever this was that way. So we started walking, and we're walking. It didn't matter what direction we were walking in, because we walked for several hours. But here we go, and we're chatting and baboseando. And so what are we gonna do? Oh, I think we're gonna kill a rabbit or something like that. And Frank is very, very that kind of guy, very, very happy kind of guy, very optimistic, and I guess I was optimistic in those days too. So we're going. All of a sudden, do you hear that? Yeah, the railroad tracks. Oh, I never heard railroad tracks in my life. Because here in Guatemala, you never heard them exactly. We're on a train here, like going from Chicken to Tiquisate or whatever to whatever we went to, Champerico to here. So the railroad tracks, and the railroad was coming. And then this bloody big long, loaded full of logs. And then we hear the brakes start squeaking. Skrrr, 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 skrrr. And the guy who was obviously the train driver, and the guys who were in communication, not with radios or anything, they didn't have that kind of crap in those days. It was wires kind of thing. So right, the caboose is?
Yeah, the end.
Right close to the caboose, it comes to a halt. Hey, what the hell? 2 or 3 guys jump up. What the hell are you? Couple of kids, couple of idiots. Well, we're lost. You bloody right, you're lost. So where the hell do you come from? Pemberton. Shit. Where are you headed? Well, really headed to Vancouver, but we were told if we went to Darcy first, we could get a bus from Darcy to Vancouver. Oh, okay.
And by this time, you still don't have any money.
Well, we still don't have any money, no. But we had the most delicious pancakes, Nina, that I have ever eaten in my life. They could have made, what a cow, what do they call that? A cow pat is?
Yeah, I know what a cow pet is.
They could have given me a cow pat with honey in it and I would have eaten it. But we had pancakes. They had thick Canadian bacon. They had a huge fried egg on top of it, and they had
A torito.
gallons of syrup, the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they fed us, and so we said, oh, fantastic, thank you very, very
The guys
much.
on the train fed you guys?
The what?
The guys on the train fed you?
Yeah, who else? The guys in the caboose.
Yeah,
Because, the train, there's the caboose,
Yeah.
yeah.
and way over here, I don't know how long it was, but it was very, very long before he stopped, is the printer. And these guys are used to it. They jump up and they know which way to go, and they go
Yeah.
here, there, and everywhere. But when they set the brakes on, and we heard that it was, we were saved. But it took a long time. The damn thing is like a tanker, an
Yeah.
ocean tanker. You say stop, and eventually so low. So we got there, and then they took us, and they very kindly dropped us off at Darcy.
They were on their way to Darcy.
They
That's
were-
the other thing.
The train passed by Darcy,
Chicas, buenísimo.
So we got off at Darcy, and I don't know whether the Dickens they were going, but they obviously couldn't take them. Because,
Yeah.
So we get in Darcy, and I don't remember how the connection came, but there was a guy who had a sawmill in Darcy, an old gentleman who had, and I think the damn sawmill was named after his town, or his town was named after Darcy, whatever. We go there, and we ask for jobs. And this gentleman says, so what's the story with you? Well, this and that and the other. But we need a couple of jobs. We need a job for a few days to get enough money to get back to Vancouver. What do you do in Vancouver? Well, we study. Where do you study? A school called St. George's. St. George's? You're St. George? Oh, yeah, St. George's. Yeah. I heard the school. So he gave us a job for a couple of days, and we were there doing whatever at the lumber yard, whatever, and then we had enough money, and we thanked him very much, and we ate and everything like that, and we got on the bus to Vancouver. And oh, this was heaven, we're going on the bus to Vancouver. I don't know how, I have to look at the mileage. But anyhow, we get on the bus to Vancouver. So we get to the bus station in Vancouver. This is the bus station from the Greyhound bus station to the bus station, to the bus that we would take to the school. The local bus, whatever, the buses urbanos. And so we get on the bus. Who the hell is sitting on the first seat? But one of the matrons of the school. Hello, Frank. Hello, Ed. Where are you coming from? Oh, we're in Seattle. Everybody knew we were in Seattle, so she didn't say anything. We just went and sat in the back over there. We got back to the school. We went to the house of Frank's friends, where we had left our regular clothes and everything like that, and we left our backpacks there, and we changed clothes, and we were about 5 days early returning from vacation to the school. But they always welcomed you with open arms, something like that. I mean, there was enough food for everybody and this and that and the other. So school starts, and everything is fine and dandy until Frank Taylor and I get called to the headmaster's office. Now the headmaster is the top enchilada. That is this is the man who fires you. This is the man who, kicks you out of the, expels you or whatever. So he says, so tell me all about your vacation. How were things in Seattle? Frank and I look at each other. We figured that the old lady had burned us, Well, the truth of the story is this and that and the other one.
Did you guys tell them the whole story?
We told her that we got lost, that we were screwed up, and we got lost, and we got this job in Darcy, and from Darcy we got money to come to Vancouver. Yes, Mr. Darcy's son graduated from this school about 15 years ago.
There's no getting out of it.
It was such a... Oh,
So he had squealed on you.
Yeah.
Oh, he called the school and said, Mr. Harker, the guy's name was Harker, I forgot what his first name was, he was a wonderful man. Mr. Harker says, so he says this couple of times, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so he said, well, I should imagine that there's very little for me to gain other than spend an hour telling all this history, writing all this history to your parents. So I just think I'm gonna ask you, next time you want to go something stupid like that, first research, then ask the school for proper permission, and then do it. He said, because what you did is just no learning. So you've had enough of a lesson, now get out of here. It was just, you know,
Can you imagine if they had gotten lost in the middle of the Canadian wilderness, gotten washed away by the river, never to be found again?
Yeah.
What would the headmaster have told your parents?
Yeah.
Well, he would have told, well,
Se
You went to
fueron
Seattle?
se fueron a Seattle y se
Seattle.
perdieron.
they're in
We're
Seattle,
already
and
in
then his
Seattle.
aunt in Seattle, who was the one who's covering for us, because they would have called the aunt. Yes, they were supposed to be coming here. Let me see where they went.
What an adventure.
But here is the worst thing about it. I kept a diary. And it was a little diary, about this size, pocket-sized diary. And I wrote these things. Because I figured if it's, to find my body, well, at least they'll have a diary. I'm Edward Pierce of Guatemala, my father's name is. And I left the damn diary on the bathroom, back of the bathroom toilet at the school.
Oh no.
And some bastard found it, and he didn't take it to me and say, hey, Ed, this is yours, or anything like that. I think that also that went to the headmaster.
Doblemente quemados.
Ay. It was.
Might still be in some archive at St. George's.
Yeah. Well, Frank's name was Franklin Eugene Petavel Taylor.
Wow.
Pepperbell.
Petavel
Petterville.
Taylor. And
Quite a name.
he and his father and younger brother operated a gold mine in the Yukon territories. And they worked there during the summer really. And Caterpillar driving a machine and this and that and the other. The young brother was Frank was 16, 15, the brother was about 14, something like that, but they were sturdy, hardy guys. And they worked this gold mine during the whole of the summer months. And with that they made enough gold to, survive for the rest of the year. I don't think they ever hit a huge gold mine or anything, but that was that. But anyhow,
Wow.
I googled the directions that you went. You went right past Whistler, the ski resort where they had the Canadian Winter Olympics just a few years ago.
Whistler, okay.
It's montañoso.
It's between